Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. They say all good things must come to an end, and that goes for the 2024 National. Now, before I start thinking about the 2025 National in Chicago that I do plan on attending, I wanted to give my final thoughts on the National, show off my pickups. The recap videos that I did from my hotel room did not have the best lighting, even though I brought my video setup, so I want to show those cards off as well, and some of the other things that I picked up at the show and from fellow YouTubers. So let's start off with some of my observations of the show and from what I heard from other collectors as well. The first one is the crowd size. I thought especially the sneak peek on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday were packed, especially that Wednesday and Thursday. Friday was busy as well. Of course, on the weekend, which you would think would bring out more of maybe the local crowd, Saturday and Sunday were definitely not as busy as the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. A lot of people complained about the bathrooms at the convention center. I had a VIP pass, so I had the ability to go down into the VIP section, and the bathroom there, the line was never long. The most I had to wait maybe was 5 minutes, but for those that did not have the VIP access, the bathroom situation was definitely not the best. I don't know what capacity that convention center is designed for. I know it's rather large, but the bathroom allocations were very poor at best. But for me, with that VIP access, I personally never had an issue with the restrooms. Parking. I know a lot of you out there had issues and complaints about the parking. Now, I don't know if it's because of my VIP pass. There was a specific VIP section in the parking lot. I never had any problems with parking or getting to the convention center, with the exception of Thursday. Now, where my hotel was, I had the option of coming to the convention center through by either the highway or through some back roads, through like a park area and stuff. And that was the way I came. So I came from the opposite way into the convention center than the way that you would come in from the highway. And I know for those that came from the highway, and maybe that was the best way to get there from where you were staying, that sounded horrible in terms of the backups and stuff. Now, there were two main entrances to the convention center, and from the way that I came, Thursday was the only day that line started to really back up for probably over 1.5 miles. But then as I got close, after waiting maybe about 15-20 minutes, I realized that I could go in the second lane and all the way up to the one entrance where the VIP was parking, the VIP parking was, and they let me right in, and I easily found a spot in the VIP section. So my situation may be a little bit unique in terms of the pass that I had. Now, the one complaint that I sort of have is the VIP ticket was supposed to give you free parking. That was one of the perks for me buying the VIP package, in addition to the early entry and use of the VIP lounger area. I don't know. I heard maybe on Thursday morning that they were starting to charge the $10 for parking, but I think with the crowds, and I don't know, with the help that they had, I think it just got too overwhelming for them. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you didn't have a VIP pass, if you paid for parking at all. So Now, that wasn't the only reason why I bought the VIP package, but I thought I'd have to spend $10 a day for parking. I'm used to Chicago. I never have been to the Cleveland, the national one has been in Cleveland. So I know in Chicago, you for that parking garage there, you pay for parking. So I looked at that as potentially a $50 savings because I was going to be there Wednesday through Friday. Well, if it turned out that no one paid for parking, that perk was sort of irrelevant. But again, for me, overall, parking was not an issue at all. Wi-Fi cell service. It was terrible Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I think it was just overload with the crowds there. You had the breaker section, which I'm sure was using a lot of the Wi-Fi capacity in that one section of the convention center, and then just the massive amount of people on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I couldn't send text messages, couldn't make or receive calls, even outside of the building in cell service. There was one time, I think it was maybe on Thursday, where you would go out and normally have like 4 bars of the cell signal. Like there was no bars. I mean, it was just a complete overload of the cell system. Now things got better Saturday and Sunday, where there was the crowd was smaller, less people were there. So I think it was just a capacity issue, as it's probably that's the main reason for it. Hopefully they'll get things a little bit better for Chicago next year. I don't know what that would all entail in terms of providing better cell service. You can't just stick up a tower somewhere, but at least maybe the Wi-Fi, they can do something about that for Chicago. But I don't think they really anticipate the crowds those first 3 days. And I'm sure the dealers themselves. I was at one dealer and we were trying to look up a comp. I think it was maybe it was late in the day Thursday. Even late in the day, it was pretty crowded, and I was able to get through. He had a little bit of trouble, so we looked up the comps on my phone. But definitely a struggle for Wi-Fi and a cell service. The layout, I liked the layout. For Cleveland. Again, never been to the IX Center before. I like what they did this year by putting the corporate booths on the outside of both sections, which allowed you to walk freely through all the dealer tables and not have to necessarily pass through all the corporate sections like in Chicago. Hopefully they'll take note of, I think, mainly the general positive comments and thoughts on the layout, and they'll incorporate that into Chicago next year. Maybe in that additional section that they opened up last year in Chicago, put all the breakers, put all the corporate booths there, maybe allow them some larger space, because I think the space in Chicago is larger than Cleveland. Make all that area, that special, corporate breaker, you name it, autographs, that section back there, and then leave the main area for just tables. And that may also allow for wider lanes in Chicago. I thought the aisles and rows at Cleveland were really good. In fact, if I remember correctly, it's not been that long ago, but if I remember correctly, there were some rows that were even wider than some of the others. So I think they were like every other row was a little bit wider, and so I didn't find myself like cramped even walking and trying to get to a table. Now, certain tables, of course, had more people around them than others, but at least getting to tables, I didn't feel crowded or whatever, even on those busy days of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I really liked the layout. The mixture between modern and vintage. I've heard that a lot of the modern collectors thought that there was too much vintage. I thought there was, I thought it was a pretty good mix. Now, I didn't go around and count the tables. My just general observation was I thought there were more vintage, or modern dealers than there were vintage. There's a good amount. If I had to put a percentage, maybe 60-40 modern versus vintage. There was definitely a lot of vintage there that I was happy with. But I thought there was a good selection of modern dealers as well. So we'd love to know your thoughts on maybe what you thought that the mixture was. Maybe I'm too forgiving on the mixture between modern and vintage, but I thought there were more modern tables there. But I think for those modern collectors, I think they, of course, wanted a lot more modern and didn't care at all about the vintage. I was, of course, the opposite. Can always have more vintage for me. But I thought the mixture overall was good. Now, this has nothing to do with Cleveland itself, but one of the observations that I noted, and it's a carryover from Cleveland or from Chicago last year, and I'm sure it's going to be the case in Chicago next year, is the breakdown between PSA vintage slabbed cards and SGC. I'm seeing a lot more dealers that have pretty much only SGC inventory. Now, as if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I'm a PSA guy, not because of the service or other things. I haven't, I don't drink the Kool-Aid of PSA and think that they are the best. It's just that I like to have a uniform collection. I started off my vintage collection with PSA slabs. So in terms of displays or my collection, I just want all my cards in PSA slabs. And it seems every year it's a little harder and harder to find cards that I'm looking for in PSA slabs versus SGC slabs. And again, I understand the reason for it. SGC right now has a faster turnaround time, cheaper cost of grading, and so yeah, those dealers want to get that inventory, especially if they have ungraded cards they want to get graded. They're going to go to SGC, and so it's, again, this is a me problem, not a national problem. So I just wanted to bring it up there. But something that I've noticed over the last couple years is every year there seems to be more and more SGC slabbed vintage cards than PSA. And there was also a good amount, as always, of ungraded vintage cards. All right, now in terms of the prices and how willing dealers were to deal off their sticker price, which is always a concern for me going to the national. Like what kind of deals am I going to get? Are they going to be willing to work with me? I found in general that I was able to get about 10% off their sticker price. And in most cases, their sticker price was reasonable. Now, there were some dealers that had their stuff priced way too high and wasn't even worth me making an offer. It was they were way above comps. But generally speaking, when I looked at just the sticker price, it may not have been at average, but it wasn't at the high end of the current comps. It was somewhere in between, which to me seems reasonable, and that extra 10% made a difference for me. But I had a couple deals where it was closer to 20% off of what they had, and even then those sticker prices weren't that high. So all in all, I was very happy with the deals that I got in terms of those particular dealers working with me. Now, I've seen some videos where some of the modern collectors, that some dealers were asking for ungraded copies. They were asking for prices above PSA 10s. in terms of comps. So I think that, I don't know if there's a different mindset with modern versus vintage. I'm only going off of what I've seen other people comment on for modern. My experience with vintage was, I was very happy with the dealers that I went to and bought cards off of, that they were really willing to work with me, and I thought I got a very, very fair deal on all the cards that I picked up. And last but definitely not least is the socializing with friends. Now, this year for me was a lot different than previous nationals, and I said this in one of my recap videos. Normally, I just stand back, I observe, I take notes, I walk around on the Wednesday, Thursday, usually don't spend much money. And then it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday where I'm racing around to spend the money that I brought to the National to pick things up. Well, by doing that, I find myself going off on my own. Now, I'll occasionally bump into a friend of mine, and we'll chat for a little bit, and I'll say, yeah, hey, I gotta go. I want to go over here and explore. And then again, I'm off on my own. So normally during the show, I'm usually by myself, which I don't mind. I mean, I sometimes just get in the zone and I'm comfortable with it, which only leaves after the show to do some socializing. Well, this year, with me spending a good amount of money the first couple of days, I spent all my money within the first hour and a half of Friday. So what that allowed me to do was the rest of the day Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday to hang out with some of my friends, because I wasn't looking for any more cards. So I helped them look for stuff and just walk around and just talk and chat and socialize and get to know them better. It was such this national here in terms of the socializing was just phenomenal. So all in all, if I had to give a maybe not a grade, but where does this national rank in terms of the cards that I picked up, the venue, just everything plus the socializing? Personally, this was the best national ever for me. Yes. Was it perfect? Yeah, no. There were, again, some issues. I didn't like the fact that everyone was spread out in different hotels or Airbnbs. Now, I was able to go to the party house, the Misfits house. That was about a half-hour drive from my hotel. Again, I didn't mind it, but it wasn't that convenient to go and hang out with them for a few hours. I like Chicago in that respect, in that most everyone is within walking distance of each other. Now, for, say, the Misfits, it may be harder to get all of them together. Maybe they can stay at one hotel, but again, they'll be separated by different rooms. So I can see how they may have really enjoyed Cleveland. For me, who typically stays, I just get a room by myself. I like the atmosphere of Chicago because everyone is close by. But again, all in all, factoring everything in, all the positives and negatives of Cleveland, this was by far my best national ever. Now, do I prefer Chicago over Cleveland? Yes, I do. Do I like the fact that, or I hope that the national moves to different locations? Yes, I hope it just doesn't stay in Chicago every year. I like going to different cities, and I think that just helps the hobby by bringing the national to different locations. Would I go to Cleveland again? Yes. Would it be my top choice? Probably not. I really do like Chicago. I actually liked Atlantic City as well. I didn't have, again, there were some positives and negatives, but all in all, again, such a great national. So I'm done with all my thoughts. We'd love to know your thoughts on my thoughts in the comments. Do you disagree with some of the things that I brought up? Do you agree with some of them? And so now I'm going to turn the camera around and show off some of the goodies I got with my VIP package, some of the stuff I got from fellow YouTubers, and of course, the cards that I picked up at the National. Before I start showing everything off, I do want to give some shout outs to some of the friends that I got to spend a lot of time with and just had a great time. There were so many YouTubers that I got to meet and talk to. So I know I'm going to miss some names here, but I want to give some certain shout outs to those that I spent a lot of time with and just, again, had a great time. So definitely Stephen with a PH, Nate, Tops 85401, Eric, Big Mac Fanatic, Eric, Four Leaf Cards, Snoop, Aaron Davis, AD's Collection, Mike, Canadian Cards, Mike, Baseball Collector, Andy, She Blinded Me with Refractors, Garrett, Card Cutter, Brian, B. Roth, Josh, Rated Rookie, Billy Ballgame, all the Misfits, and the 4 collectors that were there. I think 3 of the 4 were there. And again, so many others that I had the opportunity to just chat with and have a great time at the YouTube get together and just bumping into each other at the show. And thank you for all of you who just came up to me and just said hi. So I really appreciate that. All right, so as I mentioned, I got the VIP ticket and package, and they give away some freebies and stuff. I'm just gonna very quickly. This is Heritage gave out some things, I guess, that they're either are auctioning off or have been, just different items, unique items, interesting items that they have, I think maybe for an upcoming auction. So just some items there. So that was that. Then this is from, hold on, I want to get here. This is from Panini. So they have, let's get this. Yeah, Caitlin Clark. You have Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, and then you have a Wemby, Henderson, Miller, Thompson. Another Thompson there, but different Thompson. I don't know my basketball. And Jaquez Jr., I guess, and Derek Lively. So those were nice, except, not that I don't think this is going to be, who knows, maybe worth something someday. But because it's the first card, if you notice at the top there, they got some damage because it was the front card in the pack there, but oh well. So that was that, and then we have some from Leaf here. So we have a, come on, Jaden Daniels. There we go. Jaden Daniels, Joe Namath, Juju Lewis, Lionel Messi, Shohei, and Stephen Curry. Then finally for Upper Deck, these prominent cuts, you got Jordan, you got Tiger, Gretzky, Griffey, and Connor McDavid. So those are cool. Again, just these little freebies, probably not worth that much. There were thousands and thousands given away. I thought this one was cool. It's basically an advertisement for Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency for collectibles insurance, but the front of the card is a 53 Topps Willie Mays. Just thought that was cool. I got a V Friends from Gary V. Oh, come on. Hopefully this will focus. Oh, anyway, it's a V Friends. And one of these these new top loaders that look like slabs, graded slabs. So that was cool. So I'll have to decide. Maybe I'll put a Boggs card in here. And I'm not going to open it. I think some Pokemon pack. I don't know. I'll open it, but I'll have no idea what I pull. Now, the other thing that, now this wasn't for everyone, I don't believe. I gotta find a place to put this stuff here. All right, just put that over there. I guess I was one of the first 500 to buy a VIP pass, or maybe there were only 500 in total. I don't know. But I guess I was entered into some sort of drawing, and I almost deleted the email, but it said something about congratulations. I'm like, so okay, so what's this? Because I'm sure you did as well, got bombarded with emails for the National. But I almost deleted it, but I opened it up and it said, congratulations, you're one of the winners of a free autograph. So after I registered and got my badge and all that stuff and all the freebies, I went over to this one table and I could select from a group of autographs. A lot of them I didn't recognize who they were, but then I came across this one and just thought the picture itself was great, so I picked it up. Hopefully it can show up here, but it's a autograph of Joe Pepitone, but has Mantle and Maris in the picture as well. So I don't know, I thought that was really cool, would look great on my wall down in the man cave once I finally get it completed. But just thought that was a cool image, and it's signed by Joe Pepitone. Let me just put this up here. Okay, now let's see, the next thing I think I'll get to are some of the things that some of my YouTube friends gave me. I did a custom card that I gave out to everyone. I've been doing that now, I think this is the 3rd year that I've done a custom card. I love putting them together and giving them out to my friends. And so here are just some of the things that I picked up or was given to me by fellow YouTubers. Jason, Mr. Fisherbike, had this little like pog thing and a little button. So that was really cool. Then we have Iconic Al. Did a T206 gold border. Really cool card. And there's the back. Then we had RJ Collect Sets. That was his custom card. Then we had Rocket Rick. Now, talk about a pair of 67 rookie stars. You got Mickey Mantle and Rocket Rick. Cool card, Rick. Then we have the Vintage Composer. Just picked a Robin Yount card and signed it. I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. There we go. Vintage Composer. And then we have TJ is online. That's his Little League picture there of him in Little League on a 1977 Topps design. And there's the back there. Of course, Reggie Jackson is his guy. Then we have Darren Return to Collecting. This by far is to me it's the coolest of any design any of the other YouTubers, including myself, have put together. This is just awesome. Darren, well done on the design. I know you had a friend of yours put this together, and yeah, I'm glad I finally got a copy of this. Then we have Mike Sticks and Seams, big Griffey collector. So put some swooshes there as Griffey was running. 2024 National, and he signed it on the back. So thank you, Mike. Then we got Sammy Thunder, and I'm forgetting the name of the set right now. But it's one that he's starting to collect. It's from the 60s. It's escaping me right now, but it's a cool set. And then we have Doug Video Guide 316, little coaster there. And I think, and I apologize, this was at the YouTube get together. There were so many people handing me some things and stuff. I think it was Doug that also gave me this Wade Boggs card. This Kari Yastrzemski Drakes. And a Boston Red Sox hologram. I don't know if they're, I can't remember if they're stickers or not, but just the hologram there of the Boston Red Sox. And then I forgot again who, I apologize, I forgot who gave this to me, but there was another party on Friday with Filmington, Silver Jackify, and Mike O. I was not able to make that, but I guess they were giving away these. and I got one, the Haktua girl. So yeah, there you go. And I pulled the green parallel out of 20. So interesting. And then when I went over to the Misfits, they were playing some game that some scratch off game, and Dawn's Field of Dreams was one of the winners, and so got a whole prize package that Eric Fourleaf put together. Eric just did, from what I heard, did a tremendous job as almost the host of the whole group. He did an outstanding job, but Dawn got this, and he said, "John, do you have this?" And I said, "I have the pin, but I don't have the original sort of container that it came in." And these are these MVP pins, and it says first edition there, Wade Boggs on the Red Sox, and so compliments of Ace novelty. So this is an Ace pin, and yeah, I don't have one in its original sort of package or holder for the pin, so thank you, Dawn. And he also gave me these really cool Allen and Ginters. I think these are national specials from, I don't know what year, but a Babe Ruth and a Mickey Mantle. I think it says on the back, the promo card. I don't know if it says what, I don't know if it says what year. 20, I can't see, but it was one of the nationals that they gave these away. So really cool. Love these mini Allen and Ginter cards, Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth. So again, Dawn, thank you. And someone else gave me this card. I apologize. If you're the one who gave this to me, please let me know in the comments so I can properly thank you. Just so many things going on at the National and different get-togethers and stuff. Someone asked me if I had this card, and I didn't. I think it was over at the Misfits house. The Garbage Pail Kids. There's like 3 different versions of the Wade Boggs card, and this is one of them. I haven't picked these up yet. I don't know if it was Scott Reindeer Studios. Shoot, I don't know. I apologize, guys, but whoever gave this to me, thank you very much. I didn't pick up any of these yet, and so I have my first Wade Boggs Garbage Pail Kid card. And let's see. Oh, the final thing is, again, Eric did such a great job for the Misfits, and he did sort of pint glasses and etched each of their names in it, but he had some that were blank, and so I have a 4-leaf pint glass. Thank you, Eric. That was very kind of you to have some extras and give me one of them, so thank you. All right, I'm holding off on the cards because I have one more thing. Of course, the last day on Sunday was Wade Boggs Day, and so I want to show off the items that I had Wade sign. I mentioned the custom cards that I do that I've done for the last 3 years. I always give card number 26. I serial number all my cards. I've always given card number 26 to Wade, and for card number 1, last year I had him sign my copy, and again this year. So for those of you who didn't see the custom card I put together, it's in the 1967 Topps design, and there are 100 of them that I did. But this was number 1, and of course I signed it, and then Wade signed it as well. So I have a dual autograph card there. Then George, Diamond Yard Sports Cards, when I went over to the Misfits, wanted to know if I had this or not, and I didn't. It was a picture. Someone took a picture from the 1989 All-Star game, and I had Wade sign it. So that was cool. And then I had, I blew up a picture from me meeting Wade from last year in the autograph line, and I had him sign that. So this was of us last year, and it's actually the image that I used for the card for this year. So he signed that for me. And then this was the photo op. Oh, just bump the camera there. This is the photo op. Let me move this over here. There we go. That I had for this year. Wade always wears a blue shirt, some sort of blue shirt for these signing events, and didn't disappoint this year. And of course, we're pointing to the Boggs Trust. Another shout out to Scott Reindeer Studios, who put this Boggs Trust logo together. So that was my autographs and stuff that I got from Wade Boggs. Okay, finally the cards. The first one here is the one and only Boggs card that I picked up. It's from 2012 Panini Cooperstown on-card autograph out of 25. I have the version out of 100. But needed this version out of 25 and just happened to stumble upon it. I didn't actively look for any Boggs cards at the National. Just having to wade through all the modern tables or ask if there's any Boggs, it would just have taken too much of my time. My main focus was vintage. But hey, I was happy to find this one, and it was one that I did not have in my collection. So we'll just put that over there. All right. First one, and of course, these slab holders. I think these were from. I gotta put my glasses on to see this now. BCW, at the BCW booth. I don't know if any of you saw this, but they were giving away some supplies, and they had these sort of slab holders that have the 2024 National. So I don't know if I'm going to keep these cards in here, but in theory I could, and it would be just another reminder that I picked this one up at the National. But this one here, 1971 Topps Ernie Banks. I don't know how that got a PSA 4. That mark there is not on the card. I think that's on the sleeve. Yeah, that mark there is not on the card. So that's. Check that out. Love the centering on it. And here is the back. That's nice as well. So, very happy. And this was not an expensive card at all. In fact, this was the card that I picked up with the last of my National money. All right, so we'll put that there. Next one, the 73 Topps Nolan Ryan. Love the centering on that. Love that image of Nolan Ryan as well. I'm trying to think. This may be my oldest Nolan Ryan card to date. But what got me was the centering on the back. These 73s are just so hard to find well centered. And the back was definitely a selling point for me. And this was not an expensive card at all. Really happy I picked up. Before I get this card here is on my 100 cards for $10,000 list. And so is the Nolan Ryan. Next one here is another card on my 100 cards for $10,000 list, and that's the 67 Topps Pete Rose. Can't believe this is a 4 as well. Absolutely love the centering. In fact, I showed this to Dylan, Double D Vintage Cards, and he was looking at this exact card and was thinking about buying it. And Dylan, I'm glad you didn't, because now I have this in my collection and just love this 67 Topps card. And there's the back. All right, next on the list. Now, this one was not on either of my 100 card lists, but I'm working on this player run, and I have the 56 Warren Spahn. This is the 55. Again, love the centering on that and just the colors. I love the 55 Topps. I like it better than 56. These 55s just are amazing. And just really nice back as well. So yeah, I'm getting close on my Spawn run. Of course, the 1949 Leaf is going to be the big one for me to pick up. The next three are probably the ones that I don't want to say were my big pickups, but these were the three that I really wanted to pick up at the National and just, I don't want to say get them over with, because I like the cards. I don't want to say I just picked them up to pick them up. I like all these cards, but these were three that just eluded me for so long, and I just needed to pick them up, and I got all three. First one is the Mike Schmidt rookie card. Love the centering on that as well. Very happy, very happy with it. Nice clean copy. And the back is nice as well. Maybe a little bit off top to bottom, but generally speaking, again, these 73s, I was very happy with the back. So that was the one rookie. The next rookie is the Johnny Bench. This was a card, I did a video, geez, it may be 2 years now, where I did a video of cards I regretted selling. Maybe about 20 years ago, I sold a group of vintage cards, and I've been slowly trying to get them back in my collection. I have to review the video to see where I am. I know I'm missing at least one, but this was one of the ones that I had, and it just so happened to have been in a 6. So now I get this Johnny Bench rookie back in my collection in the same grade. Now, of course, what I sold it for back then wasn't even close to what I paid for this copy, but that's fine. Love the centering on this. Again, nice and clean. That the Reds circle there doesn't have any ink marks or print dots, things like that. And the back is really nice as well. So happy I now have the Bench rookie back in my collection. And then the final one was so happy to find this copy of the Reggie Jackson rookie card. Check out that centering. It's not perfect, but man, if you have Reggie Jackson rookie card or looking to get one, you know that primarily it is off center, left to right, and left to right, it's like almost perfect. And the purple there in the circle, that's just nice and solid. The colors just, well, I don't say pop, because it is a faded image there of Reggie to begin with. There we go, back in focus. And the back, nice and bold. Sometimes with these 69s, the sort of like the orange is a little faded, but this is nice and bold as well. Oh, so happy to get this Reggie Jackson rookie card and the centering that this one has. All right, this one is for the 100 cards for $100,000 list. In fact, the last 4 are ones on the $100,000 list, and I was hoping to knock a few of them off. Oh, by the way, this one is the 100,000 list. So is the Bench, and so is the Schmidt. So here are 3 that are on that $100,000 list, and the remaining 4 are also. And this one again goes toward my Warren Spahn run. This was the last Bowman card that I needed, his 1950. 4.5, love the centering on it. Just the surface is nice as well. Just love the colors. Let's see if I can get closer image there. Clean back as well. Just very happy to finally pick up the 1950 Bowman Warren Spahn. So I got all the Bowman cards, and I just have to work on a few Topps cards, and of course that 49 Leaf. And then working on my Hank Aaron run, I was happy to pick up one more card. I was trying to find his 1963 Topps, and there were so few 63 Topps Aarons that I saw, and the ones that I did see were either way too high of a grade for me, or too low of a grade, or just not a very eye-appealing copy. So couldn't pick up the 63. So what I did was I picked up his second year, his 1955. There we go. It's a PSA 3, but again, PSA 3 fit into my budget. And overall, the centering is good for me. Yeah, I'm just so happy. The main thing is issues like around the edges and the corners, but the main part of the card is right there. And there is the back as well, nice and clean. Very happy to add this one to my Hank Aaron run. And the next to last biggest card, I guess, and it's the biggest over the Aaron, just because of the grade, the centering, and just the overall eye appeal of it. I also had wanted to pick up a Ted Williams card to work on my little run I'm working there, and this is his 56. So, I mean, the centering on that is just phenomenal for a PSA 4. Just love the colors of that card. I know I said I like 55 Topps better than 56, but man, just love that image there of Ted Williams that they used on the 54 and the 55 Topps. They weren't very creative, but I just love the overall image of this card here. And the other thing is, I wanted the white back as opposed to the gray back. I think the white backs are just better. So very, very happy to have picked up that 56 Topps Ted Williams. And the final card, which was one that was not on my radar at all. It was a card I needed on my 100 cards for $100,000 list for sure, but did not anticipate picking this card up, even looking for this card. The card found me. Was passing by a vintage table. I saw it, and it spoke to me. Oh, the 48 Bowman Stan Musial. Just fell in love with the centering of it. The only thing that's wrong with it is the corners. There's no creases. The guy who submitted it, by the way, just got a PSA 3. The guy who recently submitted it, the dealer, he thought it was going to come back a 4. And I can see why he thought that. It's just so sharp of a copy. And the back is nice as well. Again, I had not, and this was a first day purchase. This was a Wednesday afternoon, the sneak peek purchase. Did not expect to buy anything on the Wednesday, let alone basically get close to a third of my entire national budget on this card. But I am so glad I did. I'm so glad I pulled the trigger and didn't hem and haw about it, because if I had waited, I'm sure someone else would have snatched it up. Oh, so happy to add this Stan Musial rookie card to my collection. And yeah, those are my pickups. Again, I showed these off in my previous recap. videos, but the lighting was just terrible, so you couldn't really get a good view. And yeah, we'll end it here with the Stan Musial rookie card. Actually, I'm going to end this video here with some video clips of some of the amazing cards that some of the major auction houses had on display that are coming up on some of the upcoming auctions. Just amazing cards to look at. So with that, hey, I appreciate you watching these recap videos of the National. For those who I saw at the National, it was great seeing all of you again, and some of you for the first time, and look forward to next year's National.
Was on that jersey.
Photo match to Game 3 of the World Series.
Right here. Also, these keys are pretty crazy this year, so you may have to wait on me to struggle with that.
Nope, you're extra secure.
Yeah, right.